Hello, welcome to the Amdram Cam. I'm your host, Elena Bracken, and with me here today is Colin Smith,
Hello.
actor, writer, and musician.
Hi.
Is that right?
It is right, yes.
So you're
Sort
putting
of.
on a play at the Curtain Theatre in Rochdale.
I am, yes.
And you
With the
wrote
help
the
of
play.
all these many other people. Yeah.
Yes, it takes an army, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
It does take an army.
Yes. Yeah.
But you wrote it.
Yes.
Where was it first performed?
Lyceum. The Lyceum.
The Lyceum, so it wasn't Playhouse 2.
No, Playhouse 2 was the second one.
It's the second one.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
There's always big delays, you say, because the first one, it obviously takes like 18 months or so, and then we had COVID as well. And then this one, we were waiting for cast members to be available, and then the ones that became available dropped out. So, that's what happens.
Sometimes happens in amateur.
Sometimes happens, yeah.
Okay, so I watched it when it was on at Playhouse 2. I wasn't aware that was the second time it was on. I thought that was the first. And you do rewrites between performances and stuff,
Yes,
right?
yes.
What rewrites have you made this time?
I've made some cuts because there was some things that really didn't sort of take the story anywhere, and they weren't funny either. So just decided, I don't really need that. So just trim it. The first version was way too long, so there was things in it that just didn't work, and we had the DVD, so I was able to watch the DVD and kind of go, oh yeah, really don't need that, really don't need that. So some of it was completely rewritten. This time, because I thought the second version worked pretty well, it didn't really need fixing. Just a bit of a tweak here and there. Added a couple of new jokes, and the cast sometimes in rehearsals or when we do a run have added lines that are now in the finished text kind of thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so it's kind of always developing every time we do it, and it's like it's a kind of bespoke play. So if a theatre wants to put it on, I'll rewrite it for their theatre and put references to their theatre in it.
So let's get right into that, because Colin, what the hell?
Well,
What
I don't
the
know,
hell?
really. It's just an idea.
Okay, so just for a little bit of context, this is the absolute most bizarre play I've ever watched in my entire life. It's got everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely every single thing. And let's talk about that fourth wall, because you took it out for dinner and never called it back again.
That's right.
You smashed it.
Yeah.
Why?
The bulldozer came in. And,
what was the inspiration behind that? When did you think, okay, that's got to
the fourth wall thing?
Yeah.
Well, it was just anything that gets mentioned and referenced in theatres, I've tried to put in and make a funny kind of reference to it, like the Scottish play and all those kind of things. So anything
for the
I can
audience,
think
what
of.
is the Scottish play?
Well, I can't even say it. No, Macbeth. Oh no, what have I done? So there was that, and then there's things like this thing that I had. This thing I've always had where people say, "Oh, how do you learn all those lines?" So I thought, well, I'm going to put that in where someone says that. He says to them, "Don't tell us how do you learn all those lines? It's really annoying." So any reference of things that you hear in the theatre all the time, I tried to sort of put them in, but in a funny context, not just putting them in for the sake of it.
Because you've been in the theatre for a long time.
A long time.
Like how long is long?
I probably wouldn't even tell you, because then people.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's not a bit. No,
probably
it's an
a bit too long. A long time.
It's an
anyway.
achievement, I would say. 30 years.
Yeah, and the rest.
Yeah, 20,
more like 40.
50. Oh, no.
40 something. Yeah.
Okay, so you
seriously
kind
40
of like,
something years actually. Yeah.
It really is kind of like a love letter to the theatre.
It
That's
is.
how I would describe it.
It is.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
A little bit of mystery.
Yeah.
Pantomime.
Pantomime. Yeah.
Have you ever done a pantomime?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, wicked. So
I was
like,
the Grinch. So.
Genuinely, what inspired you? When were you sat at home and you thought, this is the play from start to finish, or was it dribs and drabs and bits that you thought, I'm just going to put that in there because it's funny?
Well, I just had the idea of it was a play that was conscious of the fact that it was a play, would be funny, and you could have some ideas of that. And the way this play works is that every character believes in their own reality. Like when you go and see a play, everybody believes in their own reality. Everybody is in wherever they are in that reality, and the audience don't question it.
Yeah.
They just buy into the story and care about the characters. And so, like, the wife really thinks she's his wife at home, and the stage manager really thinks it's the play and what's going on.
Yeah.
And then when the sort of Tarantino guys, they come in, they think they're in that world, and the panto people think they're in that world. And so they're all kind of recognising the fact that he's acting. You're not real. They all can recognise it in others, but not in themselves. You see what I mean?
It kind of reminds me of, Stuart Griffin from Family Guy.
Yes.
It's like, who can understand the baby and who can't understand the baby? That's the vibe I get.
That's
like,
kind of
do
it,
we know they're dead? Do they know we're here?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it's really enjoyable to watch, though. It's an absolute joy to watch.
Yeah, it's meant to be fun more than anything.
Absolutely.
It's meant to be fun.
I think
so.
when it went on at Playhouse 2, am I right in thinking it wasn't long after COVID lockdown had lifted?
Yes, it was the first thing that quite a few of us did after
Yeah.
COVID, yeah.
It was pure joy, it really
Oh,
was.
it was
For the
fantastic.
first trip to the theatre after being stuck indoors and not being able to experience all of this, it was brilliant. So well done
Yeah.
for that.
Well,
to
thank
begin
you,
with.
yeah. No, we all loved it, I think, because normally you put the play on for the first time, the first one's the one that means the most.
Yeah.
And then if you do it again, it's like, well, it's great, but we've done it before. With Play, I much preferred it at Playhouse 2. It was a better experience. The rewrites made a big difference. We had a few people in the cast, and I thought it was kind of just generally better on every level.
Yeah.
So now doing it again after another 2 years, yeah, interesting. We'll have to see. But
Very much
it's
so.
just started to be real fun again. You know, after a couple of just getting back into it, it started to be fun again.
I mean, you're in it, aren't you?
Yes.
You're
yes.
acting in it. And I would say you're the lead.
Yeah, I
I'd put you
suppose.
the lead. It's,
Yeah, I
it's your
suppose I
play.
am,
It's
yeah.
like art makes life, makes art, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So for you as an actor, do you find that because you wrote the play, it's easy for you to kind of get into that mindset? You don't really need to do much work because you wrote it. You know what he's thinking.
Yeah, I don't have anybody to explain what it all means.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, yeah.
Are you protective over the play? So because you're not directing?
I think Steve will say yes.
Yeah.
I am a bit, yeah.
Okay, well, we are going to be talking to Steve next.
Of course.
So,
right.
final question for you. Amateur or otherwise, what would be your dream project?
I've got another play that I wrote that I'd really love to put on at some point. It's perhaps even crazier than this in some ways.
Okay.
So that would be the thing I'd really like to do.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So we are going to be talking to Steve next, who is directing his baby.
Okay.
And then I will tell everybody where they can get tickets.
Brilliant.
So, Colin,
Okay.
thank you so much for coming
Elena.
on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
So here with me is Steve Bennett directing play. Now I'm going to pick up where I left off with Colin. Almost,
Okay.
kind of, a little bit. So he's the writer and you're the director.
Yeah.
How nerve-wracking is it having that kind of responsibility of bringing his vision to life when you're directing him in the play that he wrote?
Well, until you mentioned it, I wasn't nervous, but
Oh.
I think I will be now.
Now it's a problem. Sorry.
No, it's not really. Colin and I have known each other a long time, and directing this play was a result of directing him in other plays, Cyrano, and we did Christmas Carol, and after Cyrano, Cole asked me if I'd like to look at the play, and we met in Oldham at Sainsbury's, and over a coffee.
It's a true love story.
It is, and I'm surprised he didn't put a scene in. Actually, I think that would have been nice.
Sainsbury's
wouldn't
car park.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you direct at the Lyceum and at Playhouse too
yeah,
as well?
yeah. This is my third time.
Okay.
So we've kind of got to know each other. You know, all the edges have been knocked off both of us really over our relationship. So we just get on with it now.
Quite right.
And he's not protective. He's very open.
It's kind of like a collaboration,
Yeah.
like you mentioned before, talking
Yeah.
about actors like ad-libbing lines and then writing those lines into it because they were just funny. So is it kind of like that?
It's
for you
kind of
guys
that
as well?
because, you know, the dialogue suggests something to me when I'm watching it, or the actors suggest, you know, something, and I'll just put it in. I don't look for permission. I don't need to look at it. I can just see him laughing in the background at it, and you know, because it is a funny play.
Yeah,
so
that's
there's a lot
gotta
of
feel quite
business
good,
in
hasn't
there,
it?
really.
Like, you know, when you kind of put on a play that is substantially comedy, it's
Yeah.
very, very funny.
Yeah.
There's got to be that element of, oh, God, what if it goes up and no one laughs?
Yeah,
But people laughed. Last time I saw it, it was hilarious.
we the first time we did the play, that is exactly what we both thought.
Yeah.
You know,
Bums
is
doing
it
a bit of
funny?
that.
Yeah, oh yeah, twitching, yeah. Because the other thing is, you know yourself, if you keep, you're doing it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're at the read-through laughing your head off. And then after 6 weeks, not so much. And it needs that injection of that little bit of stress, that little bit of fear to put the energy back in. Oh, sorry, that was me. To put the energy back in. And then when you get that first laugh.
Yeah. You're like, oh,
it
okay.
is funny,
And then the
yeah.
second laugh, and then the next one, and the
Yeah,
next one, and you're kind of like, yeah, we did a good job.
And, you know, people get it. You know, my worry was it is odd. It is an odyssey in his head.
Yep.
And my worry was they wouldn't get it, but they do. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
you know, as Cole mentioned, it's because the actors are telling their truth. You know, they believe that they are a dame or they are gangsters. And they absolutely, totally believe it. And they treat their environment differently. Whereas in a normal play, everybody's in the front room of a house, and it's the same house, and they're all in the same reality. These characters aren't.
Yeah, because it's not just different characters; it's literally different worlds, but like different genre worlds, which is really playful and fun.
Pantoland.
Pantoland.
You know,
Love
and
it.
that I it's down as Pantoland in the script, but I remember when there was an accident in Todmorden a long time ago, and CNN came out, a tunnel collapse. I'm here at Todmorden, and it's just the way the Americans pronounced it, so we decided they pronounce it Pantoland.
Pantoland.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I butchered it. It's
You
not
did,
Pantoland,
you did, yeah.
but Pantoland.
Pantoland,
I remember that for next time. How embarrassing.
Which confuses him because you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I'm hoping that the Curtain Theatre enjoy it as much as
I think they will. I mean,
it's-
logistically speaking as well, you've toured this at different theatres.
yeah.
Coming here, the biggest difference I can see from Playhouse 2 to the Curtain Theatre is the size of the stage and the fact that the stage here is elevated, whereas Playhouse 2 it's looking down on it.
Yeah.
So logistically, set-wise, has that been a challenge? Because you've got quite a large cast as well.
It's different. It's a wider stage throughout the length of it. So at Playhouse 2, it's wide at the back. It's about the same width of this stage.
Yeah.
But at the front, as you know, you've played that stage, it goes down to an apron, doesn't it? It goes to a point almost, so it gets narrower. You don't have that here. It's a cross arch, and you've got you've got the same width all the way to the back. And they've recently had a massive clear out, and they've opened the back up, so it's even deeper than it was. I think they're probably similar depth, but you know, space is a rarity in these places. So the theatre, the stage area tends to get eaten away by backstage storage and lighting and whatnot, you know, and tunnels to get back. But they've taken it all back to the wall here.
Right,
it's
so not
massive, that
much of
stage.
a logistical
No, I think
challenge.
one of the things is sightlines, and you know, you've got two actors who, at Playhouse 2, you can keep them within a metre of each other, and you can still see, you're not masking each other, whereas here, you can't. You've got to open it out. So we've had to open it out, and I have the same challenge I have with every play, I do with every actor, no matter what the calibre, is get downstage. They have this thing where they just float up to the back of the stage.
Yeah.
And it's not a fear thing, it's just because
You sure?
that's from...
It's very much like my toes are
it-
too close to the audience.
Is that,
You need
is
to
that
get
how
back
you
there.
feel when you're
Yeah,
on stage?
kind of.
Because I'm, you know, pulling them down. And
Yeah.
because when you're on the stage, you know, middle of the stage feels about right. You know, psychologically, but it's not for the audience. It's miles away.
Especially with a play like this.
Yeah.
Because again, that fourth wall is just...
Yeah, that's great,
gone.
isn't it?
Are you nervous about that?
No.
So, you know, like I mean, I saw you rehearsing, you've got people, okay, not to spoil anything, but you've got people coming into the audience, so the audience get to experience that.
yeah,
But so much can go wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last scene, not to spoil it, is the one where it can really go wrong, where there's an audience member
I remember.
takes part.
Well, it's ruined now.
No, because you don't know. What,
it's fine. It's okay. They don't know.
they, you know, don't not come because of that. It's
Yeah.
promise it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Very fun. I heard a lot of stories about some of the things that the audiences did on the last one. Shout out to Peter Rigby.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes. yes.
I remember hearing that story. So
Yeah.
people can get very crazy. Hence what I mean about things can go wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
Or
I
get
mean,
weird.
you get that in any show, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And people, I think a lot of that is people just getting involved, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
You know, when people are sort of that invested that they actually feel like they want to take part.
Yeah.
So they, you know, put in the two penny
Give them
thing.
their moment to shine.
Yeah, and
kind of
you
thing.
know, if people shout out, that's fine. I mean, the dame knows how to handle
It's
them.
it's the play for, isn't it? And the dame. That dame. I love that
She's
dame.
great, isn't
She's
she?
fantastic. Come for the dame alone.
Yeah.
Stay for the rest, but come for the dame.
It is a panto for adults.
Yes, it is. It is. Okay. Final question.
Yeah.
Amateur or otherwise, dream project, what would that be?
I guess I'd like to direct a pro version of Glengarry Glen Ross.
I have not read this.
It's
What's it about?
What's it about?
What's it about?
Well, it's about it's kind of like the in 2008 when they sold the bad mortgages.
Right.
So Glengarry Glen Ross is a project of houses and land plots.
Okay.
And it's set in a very aggressive pressure sales, like a boiler house, where
Okay.
they have to make these sales. And they get these new leads. The new leads come in and all the sales and reps want them. It's set in America.
Mhm.
And it's just so powerful. And it's the characters in there fighting for these leads. These new
Oh, okay.
leads.
So like
'Cause-
drama.
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay, well,
David
let's
Mamet.
hope that dream comes
Yeah.
true for you, Steve.
It's the thing about amateur, we have to watch our language. And there's a lot of language in it.
Okay, hence why it would have to be professional. You never know, we may be able to open those
Yeah.
doors because amateur dramatics, I think, is expanding
It is.
so much.
It
so
is.
maybe we'll be allowed to swear one day.
We do swear.
Swear.
We do swear.
Bad swear.
Yeah.
Bad
yeah,
swears?
Gratuitously.
Very much so. I want the
Yeah.
audience to go.
Well, they do in Glengarry Glen Ross at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
There's
That's why you wanted to put it on, really, isn't it?
I've always loved that play.
Okay.
It's probably one of my favourite plays.
Okay.
And I wanted to, when I first started doing the play selection at Playhouse 2, my predecessor and great friend, Barry Cottam, said, I was picking plays, and this is a long time ago now, because, I'm nearly as old as Colin. And I think I'm older, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I was, come on, Barry, I want to do this. And he just said, no, we can't do that. And he let me put a Patrick Marber play on called Dealer's Choice, and that had John Hoyle in it.
Oh,
And
okay. We know John.
18-year-old John Hoyle,
Okay.
and and there's just as much swearing in it, but it's not as violent
Right.
and aggressive.
Kind of lose that flavour.
Yeah. It's more just throwaway.
Okay.
Footballers swear. It's a funny thing, swearing. There's some plays that we do, and there's swearing in it, and they don't bat an eye, the audience. And then others, there can be the slightest one word, or not even what you or I would consider a swear word.
Oh.
And it really upsets
Like,
some people. Yeah. To the point
Complaints
where they
rolling
leave.
in. Will they
Yeah.
close the theatre now? Who knows?
Well, no. And so we're very conscious of that,
Yeah.
because we have to look after our audience.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, we've got to try and get...
New people. New bums on seats.
We have.
If you are a new bum on some of these lovely fine red seats that we've got in here, buy a ticket for Play, which is now showing at the Curtain Theatre from the 10th of February to the
10th of Feb.
17th of
To the
February.
17th. And there's
I'll
a
put that
Saturday
link in the
matinee.
bio. And a Saturday matinee.
Yeah.
That
So
rhymed.
you
Thank
can-
you very much, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks.